Hello, welcome to another video. Today we'll be making birria. It's come to my attention that some of you don't think I smoked before recording these videos. Just know, I do. We're gonna start with about a 1 pound chuck roast. We're gonna cube this into nice cubes that we can manage to sear off in one pan. You can go bigger than this, you can go smaller than this, but just remember the meat will have to braise in a sauce, so we need them to be a decent size so they don't just melt. For anyone who doesn't think I smoke, here's a hit out of the Puffco. Once the meat is cubed, you're going to want to season generously with salt. You can go with pepper, but just remember, birria uses peppers in the sauce in order to cook down, so I wouldn't use pepper here because you're not going to taste it, so there's really no point wasting the ingredient. You are then going to want to grab 2 small to medium onions. We'll be chopping both of these onions in extremely different ways. One you are going to want to be a fine dice. This will be for topping your tacos once they are done, and then one you will want to cut into either 4ths or 8ths depending on what you feel like doing. I cannot control you, we're all human. So once you do this, you're going to want to sear the onions on both sides. Just make sure they get some color on them. I will show you how to do that in the next step. Now you are going to want 2 types of chilies. You are going to want ancho chilies, and you are going to want guajillo chilies. These chilies are going to then be chopped up. You're going to see me fail to tear them apart here. Just know you can also use a knife. I took way too long to realize that I could just chop through them, and even when I tried to chop through them, I had to push on the knife way too hard. And I need to learn how to use my knife. Jesus. You are going to want to preheat your pan until it's almost smoking hot with a little bit of oil in the pan. Then you're going to want to line your beef up to where there's some space in between. It's okay if there's not. Overcrowding is a thing though, just remember that. So if you need to switch to a bigger pan, use a bigger pan. I probably should have done that throughout this video, but do as I say, not as I do. Just remember, we're all new to this, we're all learning together, and it's quite okay to make mistakes every once in a while. Once the beef is seared on all edges and has some nice browning, you're then going to want to take it out of the pan and throw those quartered and or 8th onions up into your pan and start getting that fawn off the bottom of it. At this point, you're going to want to add garlic to your onion. I would use fresh garlic, but this is all we had in the refrigerator, and I strive to not really have to buy anything for these videos. I like to rely on what's in the refrigerator so you guys can possibly make it at home. The only thing I really bought for this meal was the meat and the peppers, because I don't really have those sitting around. You're going to want to stir the onion and the garlic. Using the moisture from the garlic, you're going to be able to scrape more off the bottom of the pan. If you need more liquid, just go ahead and add a little bit of the beef broth here instead of like later, because if you need the moisture, take it while you can get it. You want to add beef broth until all of the onions are pretty much covered. It's steamed up the camera here, but As you can see, I'm pouring it to where it covers the onions because we're going to need to put the peppers and everything else back into this after it boils down a little bit. This is where I add the peppers. I probably either would have added them earlier if they weren't dried, but preferably later is when I would have added these. I didn't realize it, but the peppers didn't need to cook down any more than they already did. So I would add these a little bit later, preferably after the moisture driven chipotle peppers that I add in here, if that makes any sense. We can then take that off and go put that in a food processor or blender. I did that off camera because I didn't want to move my whole setup when I was going to be right back at the pan. We're going to pour tomatoes in there. Preferably you're going to want to use whole tomatoes and crush them yourself. We only had crushed tomatoes or tomato sauce, so I used the crushed tomatoes so I could simulate that. Once you get that all blended down and into this thick slurry, you are then going to want to put it back in this pot. Dump it right in there. That is with the onion and the beef broth and the garlic and the peppers. That's what's going to flavor our sauce, while the tomatoes give it a nice acidity and bite. Once this sauce starts boiling, that's when we're going to add our meat back into the pot. Once your meat is in the pot, you're going to want to throw it into a 350 Fahrenheit oven for a total of 3 hours while flipping it in between. I did not show the flipping on camera because, again, didn't want to set my setup back up for a simple 15-minute flip. Once your 3-hour timer goes off, you're going to want to take it out of the oven, and you should be able to just take tongs in there, pull out the meat. It should stay together enough to get into another bowl. You are going to want to separate this. Meat goes into one bowl, sauce goes into another. You will shred the meat in that other bowl, and then put the sauce back on the stove. While shredding the meat, you're going to want to spoon a little bit of that sauce in there. The beef may be a little fatty. It depends on what cut you get. I chose chuck roast because I like the beef fat in the tacos. This method didn't work, so I just put it out on the cutting board. Started shredding it with my gloves. I washed my gloved hands after everything, touching raw meat, vegetables, cooking. This was a different pair of gloves because this was over 5 hours later. Now we prep our toppings. You're going to want to cut up a lime into either fourths or eighths. I chose fourths here, I believe, but that's because I didn't feel comfortable cutting it into eighths. I don't know why, I just didn't. Then we will prep the radishes for topping the tacos, and that is, if you remember, what the diced onions are for as well. Now you're going to want to preheat your pan of choice. I ended up going with this one because I had a fail with corn tortillas, and my stainless steel pan, to where the corn tortilla to this day is still stuck on the pan. I don't know how to get it off. I've tried everything. I've tried the water, everything. You're going to want to dip your tortilla in that consomme, that sauce on the stove. Then you're going to want to throw it down on a ripping hot pan. We are then going to want to fill the taco with a little handful of meat and a string of our Oaxaca cheese. all of this while the tortilla is searing on the outside. Once we get all of the toppings in there, we're going to want to fold it over and then flip when it's golden brown on one side. You're going to want to repeat this for however many tacos you want. I ended up cooking 15-20 of them, but I had multiple people to feed. I only ate about 3 of them. I wanted to eat the whole plate. That's how good these are. While this taco cooks, I would love to thank you guys for the support. On the last video, we broke over 300 views and 20 subscribers, after my last video only getting about 10 viewers. That is insane to me. I do not expect to even grow this fast. I expected to sit at like 5 subscribers for a few years, but I'm dedicated to this. I really want to get content out to you guys every week. If I could do it more, I really would, but food is expensive, and we only go grocery shopping once a week. I would like to take this moment to just thank you for taking the 12 minutes, 10 minutes, however long the videos are, out of your day to come hang out with me, come chill out with me. It means the world to me to know that I even have one person watching me, let alone 300. And I love responding to you guys and just getting to talk to you guys in the comments. So please comment. Come have conversation with me. Ask me about my life. I'll respond. Because sometimes I sit at my phone hoping someone comments. So I appreciate you guys. I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a great day. Peace out. Much love.